You're watching the Eternal Tournament Series.
Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the continuation of the top 8 of the Season 5 Eternal Tournament Series Invitational. I'm, of course, your host, Bairdrus, and once again joined by my wonderful co-caster, LighsOutAce.
Yeah, and here we have SMJ on Burn Queen versus Angry Chicken on Big Cambrai. Kind of the classic matchup, right? This has been going on for a while. We've already talked about SMJ's list at length. Angry Chicken is on more traditional Big Cambrai, except with no harsh rules. Instead, he has Protect in his big-time beefy mid-range deck. So you could even say that he Protect, but he also attack.
Yes, Ace with the fantastic memes here. No, he's been excited about that one for a while. It is true, though. He is bringing in the 4 copies of Protect instead of the harsh rules here, so he's leaning more towards just keeping his units alive and not needing to clear out the board. And he does have the harsh rules in the sideboard. And interestingly enough, unless I am mistaken, this is a matchup of old. I remember SMJ taking down a tournament to get into, I believe it was the Season 3 or Season 4 Invitational, when Angry Chicken was on a tear that season. And SMJ used his 90-card list to qualify into the tournament, actually had a fairly good result in that Invitational, unless I'm mistaken. So this is kind of like a matchup of the original versus copy. Although SMJ on a completely different deck this time, as you alluded to, he's playing Burn Queen here. So we'll see if he can run Angry Chicken over before he can do anything. And looking at Angry Chicken's opening hand, gotta say, if SMJ can fire off some units here early, it's gonna be looking quite good for him.
So SMJ, apparently his buttons disappeared.
Well, that's not necessarily fantastic. I hope he can still play cards. I wonder if relogging will reset the matchup here, because if this resets the matchup, this has got to be like the worst reset I think I've ever personally witnessed. I mean, SMJ looked like, based on that hand, that he should just run away with this game here. Angry
what was the hand? It was like 4 power, Instigator, Cha-Cha.
Yeah, 4 power, Instigator, Cha-Cha, and Angry Chicken has a single Vanquish and a Protected power. Like, all he has to do is brick 1 or 2 turns in a row, and this game is essentially over. Was Angry Chicken on the play, or was he on the draw? I don't remember at this point.
Chicken was on the play. Okay, it looks like SMJ is back. All right.
Okay, so SMJ has resumed here, and fortunate enough for him, although we do finally see a Sandstorm Titan picked up here by Chicken, so that's going to help him out. That's going to be able to shut down this insane aggression we would have otherwise seen. I mean, look at that. SMJ is able to hit double influence requirements by turn 3. Like, he actually just went like banner seat.
It turns out after all of these months that Stone Scar Burn is still a very powerful deck with more powerful cards than you can even fit in the deck. Like, Flame Blast got nerfed, there's still plenty of excellent cards and still no consensus list.
Yeah, they just swapped around a few pieces here, and we're going to see another Cha-Cha played down. SMJ also having an Oni Ronin to lead off with here, so Angry Chicken's going to be in a position here where he's going to have to essentially throw something into Cha-Cha terrain, because it's coming through. I mean, he's going to deal the damage here and just clear out the threat. If he has a Rapid Shot, I mean, this just gets more and more ridiculous. Obliterate as well would be good here, but there's those Protects coming in handy here.
Yeah, Protect is excellent here, but like, even with that nice Protect, so Chicken trades here, goes on a 14 because the Instigator, and next turn SMJ has a Bandit Queen. Like, this is just an absurd draw.
Oh, is Bandit Queen the card in his hand? Yeah, it is. Wow, this is going to be ridiculous here. I mean, there's going to be a lot of pressure here. If you're Angry Chicken, you're going to have to pick a threat, and man, the board's just getting so flooded here. I mean, the Desert Marshal's going to, or the Marshal Ironthorn rather, is going to survive, but you are still taking 7 damage here. And next turn, you know, supposing he hits like maybe another Bandit Queen, I mean, you're going to take him down to 1. It's very, very easy at this point for SMJ to close this out. All he really needs is a blowout card like an Obliterator or a Rapid Shot. Some Torches here. I think Torch will do the job. Really, he's just got a multitude of cards.
Yeah, although with this Titan, Soulfire Drake is no longer that card. So, although with that Vara's favor, Obliterate is now lethal. So, yeah, SMJ has a lot of outs and a lot of time.
Yeah, well, although he doesn't have that much time, two more turns and one more power for Angry Chicken. Angry Chicken will be able to take care of the board and start pressuring through. So we are looking at possibly only 2 or 3 turns away. Temple Scribe, that's a nice pickup here. It's going to allow him to lock down the board a little bit more, just create another blocker, and he does pick up that last power he's looking for. So if he's going to drop the seat here, this Martial Ironthorn is going to be active next turn.
And SMJ knows it too, because that seat was undepleted. Wait, and he plays a Grenadin drone? I'm so confused.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a weird play here running that out, and that's just going to give Angry Chicken lethal. Yeah, Angry Chicken's just going to close the game out here with the Martial Ironthorn ultimate.
Wow, that's amazing. So Chicken survived that super early aggressive rush, and then SMJ just drew power in Vara's favor and Grenadin drone for his last 4 turns, and never found a way to push over the last damage. Really missing those rapid shots.
Yeah, I mean, Angry Chicken's opening hand was quite bad, but then he immediately drew into Martial Ironthorn and 2 Sandstorm Titans, so that'll generally get you out of that situation. He also was able to use that Protect in a very, very clean way there to keep the Sandstorm Titan alive and essentially just, waste 6 damage from the burn player.
Yeah, and like we said before, like SMJ doesn't have those rapid shots and Cabal Countesses in the main deck. Instead, he's running like Madness, Combust in the sideboard. So if he doesn't get a very aggressive start, like he had no 1-drop that game when he plays 12 1-drops. Like a 1-drop would have been able to push the last 6 damage he needed.
Yeah, and these opening hands are much, much more all over the place here. We've got double Great Parliament and Angry Chicken's hand, so he'll be able to fire that off on turn 4. Bandit Queen was a nice pickup there for SMJ. His hand looked a lot worse without that Bandit Queen, since it was just going to be Suffocate, Instigator, and then, on turn 5, you eventually play into something. And now he's picked up a very reasonable curve with the assembly line. Seraph will likely get taken down here by the Suffocate as well. Although, interesting that SMJ chooses... I mean, he's going for the Bandit Queen line, which makes sense, but...
He's supposed to be a little bit more efficient with his power.
Yeah.
Like spending only 1 on turn 3 isn't very good. He needs to be super efficient in the early turns because his late game isn't nearly as good.
This is true, and Chicken does tap out, so it does end up working out for him here. But if Chicken had been able to hold up this Protect, that Suffocate essentially is just dead for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so this is a tough turn. So SMJ can either like Bandit Queen and attack with the 2 4-strength quick draw, but then either one can get double blocked and killed. Or he can Suffocate the Seraph, but then the only other thing he can do is like Vara's favor face. Like it's kind of awkward.
No, actually, so there's weirdly another line there that I think actually was the correct line. I think what it is that you suffocate down the Seraph, and then you swing in with just the Instigator. At worst, you're pushing 3 damage, but at best, you're going to be able to trade the Owl there for the Vara's favor, and that leaves you the 3 1/1 Grenadin drones and the Bandit Queen to follow up next turn in a clean board.
Ah, very true. Yeah, so now, again, SMJ has a tough choice to suffocate Seraph or to play Soulfire Drake and swing it into this 4/4.
Yeah.
Or the play that you said last turn, suffocate Seraph, attack with the 3-strength unit, and finish with Vara's favor.
Yeah, and now he did pick up Obliterate as well, so I mean, he can use the Obliterate, although that's not great here. Really, I mean, there is some argument to getting the Soulfire Drake down now. Like, you're either going to push 5 damage or you're going to give all your units charge. Like, that's a pretty good trade-off, charge or flying. And SMJ is going to swing the whole board. I mean, yeah, this makes sense. Like, he's likely to block into the 3/3 here, and if he blocks the 1/1, you're still pushing 5 damage. So this was along the play I was talking about last turn.
Yep. Came around to your way of thinking. Yeah, like, does Chicken play around the Vara's favor by blocking a 1/1? Like, then you take an extra, what is that? An extra
3
2 damage? Yeah, it's just...
Oh, yeah, you take
no good options.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily horrible to take the extra damage here, since your life total isn't under a ton of pressure. And it's unlikely your opponent would be ace-spacing without some sort of a threat here. Like, I think he was guessing Rapid Shot there, but it turns out that... I mean, he still has to figure out what that card is, though, because, I mean, that could have just been a reckless swing in there by Angry Chicken to just try and clean the board up. And that's going to force SMJ to stall here. So SMJ pausing here and not swinging in this turn means it's a lot more likely that he is holding the Var's favor as follow-up.
So SMJ drew another Obliterate. So if he can just like clear this owl out of the skies with that Obliterate, then his Soulfire Drake is looking like it'll be able to go to the distance. However, this is finally the turn where Chicken is able to hold up Protect. So now if SMJ goes for Obliterate, his whole turn just gets skipped and he gets blown out.
Yeah, exactly. He does have Annihilate here, so he'll at least be able to bait the Protect here if he wants to, but it looks like he's holding that for a little something else. And, you know, since there is the pause there, he does know Angry Chicken has a fast spell. I believe is he playing Stand Together in the list?
Let's
take a check.
Looks like he's not playing in the main deck. He's got 2 in the sideboard.
Okay, yeah, so he knows exactly what that pause means. There is the Protect hanging around, so he's going to bait it out this turn with the Annihilate and set himself up next turn for the Obliterate, and then hopefully follow it up into the Soulfire Drake. But Angry Chicken finally picks up that power for his Mystic Ascendance.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mystic Ascendant is still not going to be racing a Soulfire Drake. Although this Desert Marshal is a wonderful answer to it. Wow. So now Chicken has to decide between Ascendant and Marshal. All right, so he goes for Ascendant. So he's going to take 5 from this Drake. But then he's going to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, really. After the Drake, there's not a lot going on. SMJ is going to need to find at least one more Shadow Influence to make the Champion of Chaos a nasty threat that'll be forced to be chumped. We do see a second Soulfire Drake picked up, though. Now, that's pretty big, but we also see a second Desert Marshal to answer. Wow.
Yeah,
that's absolutely nuts right here. We're going to see Desert Marshals coming in, although one of them will at least crash. So because of the sequencing here between the players' turns, since Angry Chicken wanted to get out the second Mystic Ascendant, we are going to see him drop to 4, and this opens up a ton of possibilities for him to end the game.
Yeah, Chicken just hanging on by the skin of his teeth here. Now deciding between third Mystic Ascendant or possibly playing whatever he draws.
I mean, this could be crazy for SMJ. Like, all SMJ needs to do is find one more Shadow Influence and drop the Champion of Chaos, and he's going to force Angry Chicken to, you know, double
jump his whole board.
Yeah, I mean, he at least has to double block, and that's going to open up some wide swings here. So
SMJ takes this, so that Torch is lethal. Although it wouldn't be with the Desert Marshal, actually.
Yeah, second Desert Marshal here is going to take down the other Soulfire Drake. And, I mean, after that, SMJ's follow-up is double Cha-Cha. Like, all he needs to do is find one Shadow Influence, and he's basically good to go. I mean, we see a Valkyrie Enforcer, and Angry Chicken is drawing, you know, a lot of cards here. There are quite a few things he could put down. Vanquish, very big pickup. Vanquish plus Valkyrie Enforcer is going to shut that plan down.
Protect.
Yeah, the Protect as well. This is going to keep him away, keep his life total secure against those Obliterates. So I think Angry Chicken has finally turned this board completely around. I think SMJ is drawing more or less dead at this point.
Yeah, I think that is that trifecta. Answer both of the Cha-Chas, have a Protect up for a possible top deck burn spell. There's nothing that beats that. Like, the Enforcer will be there as a blocker for the possible last. No, SMJ only plays 2 Soulfire Drakes, so yeah, there's just nothing.
Yeah, and he's gonna. Angry Chicken, interestingly, not gonna make that attack here. I'm kind of surprised because that is going to force. Will force SMJ to triple chump. There's really not going to be any way for him to get around it. But attacking with 1 is still safe. I mean, I think you can afford to get in with at least 2 of them there. 3 might be overcommitting.
Yeah, each one past the first forces a chump block anyways, so it kind of makes sense to swing with all or none of the Mystic Ascendants.
Yeah, I suppose maybe he's trying to play around the Cha-Cha and in some way be able to keep up more blockers, since if you do turn the Cha-Cha online, you have to commit minimum 2 blockers, and then he might be able to sneak through some damage elsewhere. So I don't hate attacking with 1, but I think you could safely get him with 2 there. Either way, I mean, Angry Chicken is in such a commanding position here. SMJ is just going to take this here. That way he can try and swing around, but we obviously know Angry Chicken's going to reload with the Valkyrie Enforcer, and this is basically just going to shut SMJ down.
Yeah, I think he's drawing dead. I can't think of a card in Eternal that would win in the game on that turn.
Yeah, if the Cha-Cha was unsilenced, there's a possibility, but when it's not once it gets silenced there, I think that's just gonna put a nail in the coffin. So Angry Chicken will take down SMJ 2-0 before our sideboarding games. We'll go ahead into our sideboard now, and this is going to be a very, very uphill battle for SMJ now.
Yeah, but we'll get to see this really cool Combust plus Madness package. We'll see how that does.
Yeah, he does have the Combust Madness, and that is exactly the kind of package you're going to be wanting here against a player like Angry Chicken. I mean, just look at his list. That being said, if you're Angry Chicken, you have 2 copies of Stand Together to bring in, so you're going to have 6 Protect spells to prevent this combo in particular from just absolutely destroying you. So we will see.
Against this unit-focused version of Stone Scar, he probably brings in the harsh rules as well, just like trims on Mystic Ascendants.
Yeah, that's true as well. I mean, you probably do need the harsh rules since you are playing cards like the Grenadin Drone. And the Grenadin Drone into the Bandit Queens, as well as there are just a lot of smaller units deck. Wouldn't be surprised if SMJ had brought in the extra copies of Assembly Line, though he might be a bit wary of it since we did just mention the harsh rules that Angry Chicken's likely bring in. I mean, if you're Angry Chicken, what else are you really looking for here? Like, you bring in 2 copies of Stand Together, possibly 4 copies of harsh rule, or at least 2, and then pretty good to go, right? You can bring in some Awakened Students.
Awakened Student is just an early blocker. Yep. Yeah, it blocks Grenadins. It blocks like Oni Ronins. I think you probably bring it.
Yeah, that's really it, though. I mean, outside of that, I think our players are finishing their sideboarding, though. I didn't see SMJ do any sideboarding, so it's possible he had already sideboarded ahead of time for this matchup. Since obviously we are playing double elimination, our players knew what their order of opponents was going to be today, so already knew he was going to be up against Chicken. It's possible he just sideboarded preemptively.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy there. You just like take out the torches, trim, suffocate, and annihilate a little bit, bring in the Madness Combust.
Yep, not a ton going on there. I mean, if you want to get like super crazy, bring in like Sabotage, I guess, but like that's not great. I mean, you're just playing that super aggro strategy. Like,
yeah, I don't like bringing in a reactive card in a matchup where you're keeping removal in, and he certainly wants removal.
Yeah, he needs removal in certain cases. I mean, Sandstorm Titan is just such an annoying card to deal with that having Annihilates in your deck is just too key to take out.
Yeah, and here we see the Combust in the opening hand for SMJ. So we'll see if he can draw. Oh, that first draw step hits the Madness. He's got the combo.
Yeah, he does have the combo, and the players are already off to like an early start here. Like SMJ's got the Pyro Knight down, but Angry Chicken able to block it immediately with the Temple Scribe since he was on the play. Not even going to be able to push in the first 2 damage from it. And Angry Chicken just needs to find one more power, or not one more, but a few more power, and he's good to go. I mean, his early hand is insane. Like 3 Seraphs into a Combri Healer. He's also got the Protect to hold one of them up now. So yeah. Like, he'll be able to play Seraph now and hold Protect up against it. So even if we see SMJ go for, like, Madness Combust on his turn now, this isn't going to work out.
Yeah, SMJ probably just slams with Queen this turn, then saves Madness Combust for once there's a second big unit in play. But yeah, when your Madness gets protected, what do you even do with this Combust? Like, sacrifice your Pyro Knight? That's a good card.
Yeah, like, you don't really want to, though. He does find the Oni Ronin. I mean, that's I think, good enough to throw away, so. But, I mean, Angry Chicken at this point is being the aggressive deck. Like, he's pushing in here, and he's got another Seraph to follow up. I mean, SMJ has to find something immediately to answer this with. If he finds a 5th power, like, it's possible he could do something, but here we see the Madness being played, and immediately going to be denied here with the Protect. Now, SMJ can sacrifice off the Oni Ronin, but chooses not to, and another Protect found by Angry Chicken. I mean, I think at this point, like, he's just buried SMJ. Like, it's very early to call that, but I mean, this is just absolutely insane. Like, the board is crazy. SMJ's holding on to a handful of removal, and none of it's going to be able to connect.
Yeah, Temple Scribe into 4 beefy 3-drop blockers in a row with Protect backup. Like, that's basically the dream against Stone Scar. Like, SMJ would need a unanswered Soulfire Drake for several turns, but Chicken has a Desert Motion for that.
Wow, and even finds it. I believe that's the 4th copy of Seraph. Like, Angry Chicken was able to hit 4 copies of Seraph, top 20 cards of his deck. Not even top 14 cards.
Like, another cool thing about this game was that Chicken like realized early on that like he had all the tools he needed and just like immediately went aggressive on turn 4. Like, not a lot of players would do that on turn 4 against a Burn Queen deck.
Yeah, this was just a very quick shutdown, and Angry Chicken did just get in there. I mean, as you said, he recognized it, and he was able to start attacking with that Temple Scribe into the 2-1s, and SMJ is going to have to concede there. Beaten down by the
Jeez.
4 Seraphs. I mean,
Yeah, that was just that's brutal.
Yeah, quad Seraph. I mean, that's absolutely insane. I don't think I've ever seen a big Combri player close out a game that fast. Like, that was just ridiculous.
A bunch of 3-power 3/4 overwhelms backed up by Protect and just like attack him down. Like killed him on, what was that, like turn 7? Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts. Ezra Kenner just posted, Angry Chicken, you thought I was Big Combri, but it was me, Aggro Combri, all along. I mean, he just absolutely destroyed him there. Like, that is very unfortunate for SMJ, but there's not a lot you can do against quad Seraphs. Like, there aren't many cards in his deck that's going to be able to answer that, so. Angry Chicken taking down the series 3-2-0 in a very, very convincing fashion, especially in that last game. So he will be advancing on. We are going to take a short break, folks, as we get our next match queued up. We are going to be speeding this tournament up a little bit since Sunnyvale does have time constraints today, and he is in the winner's bracket. So we're going to be trying to finish this as fast as possible so we don't have to have him drop. So stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. We should be back in just a few moments.